Okay. Now, Twitch. Is Twitch happy now? Happy now? Okay. That's a maybe. Oh, God. Well, then I'll just update URL. Hey, look at that. And then I can just go here and be like, what up? What up, YouTube? All right. Yeah. All right, I gotta, maybe I'll put a title up. Hang on. Just let people know what I'm doing here. Oh, let me edit this. All right. Yeah. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine was reasonably relaxing. I did end up going to sleep too late, like more than once, which sucks. I managed to sleep in pretty late this morning, which is an absolute rarity. Ugh. Okay, let me figure out where to hang these prints I have. Hang on. So the wall is 64 inches from light switch to the wall. So half of that's 32 and half of that's 16. So I think I need to measure 16 and 16 from each side. Right? Is that right? All right, I'm gonna do that, and if I screw up, I'll have to embarrassingly re-hang these paintings, but we'll see. Okay. I'm gonna post a question. What's your favorite mechanical pencil? Oops. You have a favorite pencil. Oops. Yeah, I need to get some mechanical pencils for the kids because I have these I have some of these ones, but they're jamming a lot, which I don't know. It never makes things easier when your tools fail you, you know. Dang. Oh, I need to remeasure this stuff. It's too crowded next to the wall. That's my real problem. But how? I thought I measured 12 inches from the... Oh, no, no, no. Shoot, that's wrong. It has to be 24 inches from the edge of the wall, right? Yeah. Yes, okay, that's my problem. That's my problem. Okay, math. Hey, thanks for lurking, Stoic. How you doing? I am likewise trying to hang some prints on my wall. Brackets I got seem like they're too small, which is not great. No, I should have got the huge ones. Ah, it's a bummer. That's a oof. Well, I went through all the trouble measuring the holes, but I will just go to the store. The good news is these hooks are only like, $1. Oof. Yeah. I don't know. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost noon. I'm getting another brewing of tea. I'm drinking a lot of tea recently. I don't know if I guess I'd describe myself as a tea person over a coffee person, but they're both good. I developed a taste for coffee much later in life, like at 30, so I was at that point drinking kind of like good stuff that my friends were turning me on to, so it was relatively easy for me to acquire a taste for coffee because, if you have experience drinking tea or whiskey, things like that, I think picking up on subtler flavors is like easier process, right? The first time you get onto one of those like very difficult acquired tastes, I feel like it takes the longest because you have to pick up on much subtler flavors, right? Like going from drinking a caramel macchiato to drinking single origin black coffee, right? You have to get past the bitterness and the initial shock and then eventually get to, subtler flavors like the fruitiness or the nuttiness or the floral notes, stuff like that. All right, 1 second. Let me get another brew of this tea going. Yeah, back. Got my tea. Cleaning up. That's kind of my project for today. Cleaning up this room. You know? Like, intellectually, I know I shouldn't let things get so bad, but it's one of those things where I have something planned to do, and then I'm like, oh, I can't do X until I finish this thing I have planned, so I let it go too long. Let things pile up, but it's one of those things where you should just let it, or just, you know, do a little bit every day is much easier. Make it part of the habit, you know, part of your routine. And then it's just nicer, right? Because you can have more things out of the way. The to-do list shrinks faster than it grows, you know? So that's one of those things. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was playing Mullet Mad Jack over the weekend. I started. I'd watched a streamer play it before, but it was really, really fun. It just came out this year, I think, right? 2024, yeah? Yeah. May. Probably one of the best shooters. And it even has roguelike elements, which I don't usually like. But I think it helps with the replayability of what are, you know, very short levels. And letting people, I don't know, adapt, change their style. And some of it you can pick, right? Like, a lot of my friends play Hades. My wife plays Hades a little bit. All my friends play Hades. And I do like that aspect of it where it changes up the gameplay style depending on your weapon choice, your perk choice, and stuff like that. So I felt like they brought a lot of that successfully to shooters that way. I mean, the aesthetic is also impeccable, like the music and the graphics, obviously. But at its core, I think the gameplay works. Though there's like some quirks of the system, and I really need to understand those because I do keep sometimes I think dying a lot or taking damage I shouldn't. But especially with stuff like Sifu, it appeals to me because you can enter a flow state after a certain time investment, and it becomes very, you know, meditative. And you don't necessarily have to think, and you can kind of run on intuition, and that flow state is very meditative, I guess. I kind of have a half-joking, you know, theory that a lot of times gamers have found their way back to meditation through action and repetition, like a Zen style, like Kensho meditation or something like that, where the repetitive aspect of doing something becomes the meditative act. And it's like inherent, or it's intuitively satisfying. And even if people can't put their finger on why they gravitate back to playing Stardew Valley or Minecraft or Subnautica, I think those kinds of like those tasks that are relaxing and monotonous allow for that like flow state and meditative thing where people don't have to think or be overwhelmed, and it gives them that time to decompress. Because it's not like anybody is making a deliberate push to say, hey, you should play X like hours of of this game or whatever to decompress, like as a meditative act. People just kind of gravitate towards it, or gravitate towards doing stuff like that. So, you know, I think people are kind of discovering that for themselves, you know? There are some, I do need to do more like reading on types of meditation. I know Dr. K on the Dr. K wiki, there's a lot of different types. But I don't know, part of me wants to just go to a local like yoga school and start doing something more akin to yoga practice, especially for like breath control and breathing exercise, because typically I do feel better after that kind of thing. So yeah, where are we at? Monday? Yeah, I got time. I guess yeah, let me plan out, I should plan out my week and say, okay, on the following days I'll have time to, or I'll make time to head to the yoga school. Because I think most of the ones have very convenient times where it's like just after breakfast kind of thing. So it's not, I can't make the super early ones, you know. Like even once I get like that, because that's before I would have to get the kids to school. I also don't know that I can wake up at 5 or 6 or something. I know I'll have to eventually because middle schools start really early. So eventually I probably am going to have to wake up that early to pack lunches and stuff for the kids. But not there so far. I say so far, but it's going to be in like a year. Yeah, I'm going to have to be incredibly disciplined about sleep then. So maybe I should start now and it'll make me less miserable. Because I think just running on low sleep and sleepwalking through the day is going to be pretty bad. Especially for things like exercise and keeping healthy. So I think discipline. I think the discipline also to do a little bit, not the discipline to like be perfect, right? Because I definitely have gotten into that mindset before where it's like I have to be perfect, and if I don't, then what's the point? I fell off the wagon. And it's more about making the small improvements steadily, right? You know what I should do is actually make a Twitch clip that's not embarrassing. So, in the rare chance that somebody shouts me out again, they won't have to see that clip of me completely getting wrecked in Apex. You know, it's all good. Not that I have to appear cool, right? Like that's not necessarily the kind of channel I want to make. Like there are games I'm good at, but I don't need to. I don't want it to be like, oh, when somebody shouts me out, it needs to be some cracked gameplay clip where everybody sees how awesome I am. Because I don't want it to be about that either. That's the thing. Like, what do you do, right? Somebody shouts, like, do you want a ship post? Like, I could just make it like a shit post, and then somebody shouts me out. There's this, like, inexplicable, embarrassing thing. Is that good? Like, what's the best shout-out clip to go with, you know? Isn't it supposed to be like a marketing thing, essentially? To be like, hey, here's, like, a 3-second, like, explanation of who I am and my brand? I don't stream that much, and I also don't see myself as a streamer, so there's a lot about streaming, like, etiquette I don't understand. Though, I am thankful when streamers like, I think Guyse has talked about it, I think... Who else has he talked about it? Mariume, some other ones who talk about streaming stuff. It's like, yeah, you know, if you're a small channel, it's okay to raid into a bigger one. But if you go to Twitter or something, it seems like people talk as though it's incredibly common, or it's the most common to get, single viewer raids for attempted marketing or cloud or something. And I'm sure that does happen, but when people talk about that a lot, then I think smaller streamers without many viewers are very conscious about raiding. And I myself have been a little nervous about that because it's like I don't want people to see it that way. I only see it as like I enjoy your stuff, and even if I only have like single digits in my chat, it's like I think it's worth introducing them to you if they haven't, you know, if they're not familiar. So I kind of only mean it as a compliment. And it like philosophically, it ties into a larger thing I think that is healthy for the internet, which is human curation over algorithmic curation. Because algorithmic curation is okay in a lot of cases. Like, it can genuinely boost people who otherwise would not have had that kind of attention. To say, look, you are completely outside of this person's social circle, but their stuff is very along the lines of something you might like based on metrics. So that is nice, and it can help sometimes. But we also shouldn't discount human curation. Yeah, I thought about doing a segment where I take all of the things that I think are really great and I trace down where I heard about them. Like, there's some ones that I heard about from Reddit. There's some that I heard about from like a friend. And there's a couple that I heard about from like 4chan even, where it's like, what are the sources of where you hear about, like, where do you find the things that really like resonate with you? And sometimes it's completely random, right? Like, watch Professor Bloom, but I'm pretty sure I found Professor Bloom searching for like retro VTubers, but not on the Twitter tag. I think I saw it like it showed up like /VT or something on 4chan. So I was like, uh-oh. I went there in like an anonymous tab, and it turns out he's a super wholesome like VTuber. Say so, and really like positive and playing Doom and stuff. And NES games, which is right up my alley. And other ones I found, like, literally scrolling Twitter where I happened to hear a retweet or something like that. But another issue with Twitter especially is that people don't, even if somebody follows you and really enjoys your stuff, if they are also a creator, they can't turn their feed into just retweets of other people's live announcements, right? And then Twitter itself does not want to promote a live announcement because it gets people off Twitter. So there's all these like weird, not tragedy of the commons, but this weird like, I don't know, perverse incentive like set where everybody is trying to like has a completely separate motive, and then it just doesn't work out that organic curation happens. By curation, I mean just like it's the old saying, right? That your best advertising is free, and people find you through word of mouth often. Yeah, I was watching oh yeah, I really love Plibit's channel. I really enjoy like the games and the streams, and I think I found her when she was playing Shenmue, because I really love Shenmue, so I follow a lot of people who, or I think I follow the game as a category maybe. And that's how I happened to come across it. But that's also like, was that a coincidence, or would I have found that channel again later if I was searching for adventure games or something like that? Like, what's the best, what are the like most successful discovery sources, right? I know a lot of the so I got into VTubers around the launch of Hollow Stars. Like, I got really into VTubers around the launch of Hollow Stars Vanguard. So like Vesper. Well, Vesper is the HQ, right? So I think I got into that around Vanguard, and then like the older ones, the older guys like Shinri's a little bit on the older side, and then Vesper, of course, were like the ones where I was like, oh hey, like this isn't just a weird streaming thing for 20-somethings, right? So that kind of atmosphere and sort of more mature style really appealed to me, and then that's how I got into VTubers, and then through Hollow Stars, like Hollow Live, and then Flippers set me onto a lot of the Japanese ones that I watch, like Takane Lui, and the English-speaking ones too. Watch like Hako's Spales and stuff. But I do think Clippers is what got me into some of those, you know. Yeah, there's a small indie Japanese VTuber Oshi I have, who I found entirely through YouTube's recommendation system, where they put a small viewer like recommendation in my sidebar, and I happened to watch it, and because she was playing Resident Evil, but then I really liked her Zatsudans too. So like that's one case where the algorithm, like, you know, found that for me. So I think that might be interesting to see like where I found everybody. And I'm also curious like what everybody else's thing is, where they're like, yeah, here's how I found this. It was this one, because especially for Hollow Live and some of the big corpos, a lot of times it's like somebody saw a clip, and you know, a clipper clipped this one thing, and then they found it interesting enough to check out, and that one clip is like how they got in, right? Has anybody made like a streamer safe browser? Because a lot of times I'm like watching something on a browser and I'm like, I should, it would be cool if I could just put this on stream. But very often, right, you have a, like, it's even in Firefox where you turn everything off, there is a, if you go to Google, right, it'll just start showing location crap. Yeah, I feel like everybody is trying to disable geolocation, and then Google will just be like, hey, I used your IP. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I guess VPN extension. But I want the browser itself to use the proxy, you know, VPN plugin for your browser. Yeah, I guess I'll probably do that. So Bruh. Bruh. What's this guy doing? Oh, oops. Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, kitty. Thank you. We got a 240 watt power cable that was like not working. Like all the keyboards and stuff I plugged into it did not work. So now I'm like, is this, when it says power delivery cable, is it only for power delivery? Like you can't connect peripherals with it, which seems bizarre to me. 240 watt cable. It's like this braided one. Yeah, I like don't understand. Yeah, see, some of this says data transfer, blah, 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 blah. Why don't these work? That's so weird. Yeah, so this thing. Huh. Is this cable charging only? Is that real? Yeah, it's like 120 watt. Or 240 watt. I don't get it, man. $240 charger. Oh, is it a charge cord? Is that what it is? Okay, that's why. Okay, so it's really just made for charging. Power your iPhone. Reliable chart. Yeah, it does not mention data rate anywhere on here. Wait, supports USB 2.0 for efficient data transfers, though. Huh. This is bizarre. I'm sorry. I'm just like losing it. It just makes sense. I don't get it, man. I'm confused. I am confused. Oh, I found a really cool app called what is it? YTDL DLNIS. Yeah, YTDLNIS. It's an open source Android app that lets you download YouTube videos and things like that. The only downside is that it's yeah, the only downside is that the navigation to navigate to navigate to channels, search for videos, stuff like that. Like I really want to just like use it like a podcast client, like a podcatcher, and just point it to a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel, and then just download stuff for offline viewing. Like the YouTube part of it is cool, but the problem is I think you need to search on a per video basis, which is not always the best, you know? Yeah, it doesn't require root access either, which is super cool. Do I have it right here? I do have it right here. Sick. All right. All right, so... Oh, am I blocking? Yeah, so can I go to search for Twitch? This thing says like, let me see if I can put it up here. Browser group. What the heck? Yeah, here we go. Back cookie support. Oh wait, oh sorry. Forgot that it like the window size matters for this source, which is bizarre. Right, so schedule downloads built-in terminal. Right, that's fine. Incognito. Quick download. Any app that supports sharing. Oh, tap on the share button. Oh, cool, cool, cool. All right, that's crazy. Let me see if that works. Let me go to. Can I go to somebody's VOD maybe? Let me go to this person's stream. No. No. Browse. Let's. Is anybody else live? Creator dashboard? No, that's me. That's me. Yeah, so it's so hard to navigate Twitch. Oh my god. What if I go back? Following. That's what I want. All right, let me go to this person's stream. Oh, it's 9 hours. Holy cow. 9. How do these people do it, man? I stream for like 1.5 hours. I'm like, oh, I'm drained. You know? That's not easy. I'll tell you that for free. If you stream for like more than 3 hours at a time, you are cracked. Props to you, you know? That's one of the many reasons I don't see myself as a streamer. Aside from the fact that it's hard for me to get that kind of time in a block, it's I don't know. Oh my god, I have to watch so many ads. Well, I mean, I guess they're getting their. I don't feel bad about downloading this video off Twitch if I'm watching the ads first, just to get the link. All right, now we share button, share to this one. I don't want notifications. Okay, now it's loading. Add chapters, blah, blah. Oh. Can we do it? Let's do it. Let me go back to that app. Is it downloading stuff? Yeah, it's downloading. That's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on battery. Wait, is it down? Oh, it is down. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave this off battery. It's my phone's at 97% and it's downloading an entire 12 gig Twitch VOD at like 25 megs a second. This is rad. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this. We're gonna say it started at 97%, and we're gonna see at when it downloads and how much battery it took. So the other problem is that I guess the phone will choose by itself what format it needs, but the other problem is that VP9 as the preferred codec of like Google and stuff. VP9 is an amazing codec. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can get crazy quality video at tiny sizes. But a tiny, like, I have used an old Android, like a bottom of the line Android that I shoved an SD card into, like a 1 terabyte SD card for just to watch VODs and stuff on the go. And it cannot handle VP9, so that's the big downside of that. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do my Sifu run. Oh, and my wife helpfully got these. She's been hanging a lot of art as well, so she has some picture hangers that might work. So it works out. I hope. Actually, what does my GPU usage look like? Oh, I know. Let me use the GeForce Experience or whatever, and then I'll see if I can restrict Sifu to like 60 FPS, and if that works well. If that works well, then we are golden. But it's a risk. No. It's kind of funny I'm going to this too, because I was just watching a random stream where it actually screwed up his run of what's that game called? Starts with a C. It's the platformer in the mountains. What the heck is that? Not Sibel. How am I blanking on that name? This is why I can't make it as a streamer. Goldfish memory. Yeah, what is this game called? Not Towerfall. Yeah, I love Towerfall. I miss Towerfall. Celeste. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. All right, let's turn this off. Oh yeah, I need to set. How do I set the frame rate max? Also, it says unable to retrieve current settings. Why? Why though? Like I want to edit. Oh, is it in the control panel? It's not even in GeForce Experience. Is that why? Ugh. Control panel. Come on now. Okay, so I think I can set it per game, right? That's a thing people do. Set up G-Sync? No. Oh, manage 3D settings. Program settings. Yes, there we go. Cool. Show. Is there not a frame rate limit? It's NVIDIA control panel limit FPS per game. Manage 3D settings. Okay. Select program. Blah, blah, blah. Select max frame rate. Oh, low. Low there. Let's set it to that. Use. Let's use. Wait, what does fixed refresh mean? Ugh. Oh. Texture filtering. Triple buffering. On limits GPU renders and maximum refresh rate of your display. Longer latency. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay. Oh. Alright, let's give it a try. This could be terrible, but we'll try it out. Let me go to studio mode. Oh no, please. OBS, please. OBS. OBS, please. Okay, so we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do this one. Oh, look at that. It's working, kind of. Kind of. Right? It says 60. Is that good? You gonna call that good? Oh my god, did it finish downloading? What? Wait. Did it finish? Wait. What? I'm a download. In queue. Scheduled. Canceled. Oh, errored. Why did error? Dang it. Did it stop the second I turned it off on the second I turned it off? Like on battery maybe? Weird. Okay. Well, that's weird. Is it working? I'm going to assume it's working. If it's not, then we got a problem. But probably do a couple runs of this. And then take 2 at hanging up my paintings, maybe. I'm getting better. I think most people say this is the hardest one, but it's like hard from a different perspective, you know? Oh, this frame rate's getting kind of rough. I don't know if 60 FPS is the play, because I think it's still stuttering. Sure. Yeah, like when it loads. Is this like a... Okay, I'm just gonna look at the frame rate. Okay. Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can play like this. It looks a little weird now. Am I too used to like high frame rates now? Yeah, I can't play like that. You can turn it off. Do I have to restart maybe? Or can I just be like remove the limiter or doctor? I think I do 120. That's the play. Apply. It'd be so sick if that updated by itself. I doubt it's going to. It's not going to. Yeah, I need to restart. I need to restart this. Hang on. Time for the good old Alt F4. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, see, it's not 120, or it's not a steady 120, which is the problem. But it's been okay. This does look better, at least to me. Yeah, I think that's working. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, good. Okay, it says 120. So ideally, that should be a good setting for this. Ooh. Ooh, hey, buddy. You're getting feisty over there. You're getting feisty. Oh, do I have to change my Twitch category? Probably should, I guess. All right, there we go. I mean, I guess YouTube is screwed, but what else is new? It'll make it easy to edit your VODs. Yeah, there's a lot of option selects you can do in this game, so I'm gonna try to learn some of those. Sweeps. I mean, in general, you sort of have to stop thinking when you're doing this. It has to just be, like, on instinct, because, like, you don't really have time to think about stuff to that extent. It has to just be reactions. Oh, I was way late on that one. I was way late on that one, too. That's alright. So one thing I find really interesting is on, like, Reddit, like, people keep talking about, like, they're, like, always surprised that, like, VTubers don't spend more time in character. And, like, I can kind of understand on the outside how that works, but it feels like, from a practical perspective, like, how would you do that, right? It's like, have they just not thought about that? I was late on that again. Like, have they just not thought about, like, what it would take to ad-lib for, like, 4 hours? Again, I went low. I don't know if that counts as a hit. I think it might. Yeah, you can have some moves that have armor on them, but like for the purpose of this challenge, I need to look up if that counts as a hit, you know? Again, I went low. That's on me. That's not on him. Always, always, always parry on that one because it could be high or low. It's just not worth getting the dodge on that one. Kind of an option select for that particular string, you know? There we go. This is kind of spoilers for Sifu, by the way. I guess like because of the boss rush, so you know. There we go. Yeah, it takes some knowledge or some like observance of the stun system, but you get so much more value out of like doing a trip or a wall hit, like in terms of structure damage. So initially you want to go with chasing strikes and go for the damage. Then you find out like it's just better value to go for the structure. Like you can get where you need to go in fewer hits. Oh, that's again, I don't know. I think I'll just play through this one. You warm up my fingers, I guess, for today. Yeah, that one's on damage. Is he gonna go low? Yes, he is. Yeah, the lows used to be the hardest ones to parry or to deal with in this game, but like once you get used to it, like the lows, you start really hoping for the lows because they're so easy to counterattack. Yeah, like I kind of want to see like from a viewer perspective on Reddit, like what they think like is gonna happen from like a creator to be like, yeah, like this is like an all in character stream, you know? Like that's super. I can't imagine. Like even the people who are the best at doing that, I don't think they manage for very long. And there's some streamers who do. Like don't get me wrong. I'm at like 3 hits so far. Yeah, there's a point in Sifu where you're like, oh, I can just block everything. And then there comes a second point where you're like, I don't need to block anything. I'll just never stop attacking. Is maybe the down attack's better value. Ah, too early. Also, to be honest, I need to work on my Yang fight. Like, there's times where I got like 0 hits up to him. And then I end up like completely choking and missing a parry or doing some other stuff, you know? You just have to dodge until you get the right rhythm for a counter. There's also times where the targeting messes up, and then you go for a focus attack, and then you don't fight. Yep. Alright, now we're at Yang. I wouldn't say this is the hard part, but it's the hardest part. Hey, buddy. Ugh. It's so late on that one. And getting the crooked foot, getting every sweep you can. Yeah, crooked foot is just such good value, you know? Yeah, baiting him into doing the counterattack. Just beyond those counters. Okay. Yep. I don't know how many hits that was. I did at least get it at 20 without dying. Yeah. Maybe one more try. Maybe one more try. And we'll go back to chatting. I'm warmed up. Yeah, the sidekick has like kind of a very obvious tell. So you have to start looking for that. The problem is the sweep that he initially can lead with does not. Yeah, that one. That's why it's really tough to lead with the back fist. Hey, buddy. I should probably stop leading with the back fist. It's just a bad habit. Yeah, it's probably worth using some focus on him here. Alright, come on, buddy. Yeah, he gets so much value after a low. Yeah, should have been a wall slam there? I don't know. Yeah, you do have an option select to do a low dodge there and then immediately transition to a high dodge if you're wrong. Yeah, like there. Get a high dodge, transition to low dodge. Okay, I think I took, what did I take? One hit? And then punch. Not even phase. There we go. Last hit. I don't think that's a hit, but I think I buffered wrong the fly. You know, if I'm not getting those follow-ups, I should just start down attacking. But just force of habit, I don't think I can. Just keep going for it. Alright, come on. Yeah. Yeah, so all of that damage already was like, oh no no no, oh shoot, oh that's goes bad so fast. Yeah, it's like one missed parry on her can go bad. Like makes the whole, it like ruins the whole run. But yeah, and then I went for the focus and didn't lock on. So when I unlocked on, it was too late. Well, let's focus on the Yang fight then. I guess a lot of pro players don't go for focus attacks, and that's like a plus of that, right? You don't have to worry about missing a focus lock and then completely whiffing. I don't know why it didn't go there. That was a sloppy dodge on my part. Sweep. That's a weird. His AI gets weird in the corner. He also hasn't been doing the, whatever that Tiger Club move is called. Yeah. How do you go for it for sure there? Oh, double. There he is. Yeah, it's okay. The Jinfeng fight is the one that went bad this run. That's okay. I'll quit there. Ooh. Buh. I feel like when I see a lot of posts about people trying to make affiliate and partner stuff, I don't think those posts are like wrong-headed. Like I think it's a good I think if you're trying to grow, it's like a neat milestone. But it's also, I think, a little dangerous to go on the treadmill of Especially Twitch, I think, has sort of gamified how you view success, I guess. You know? Because say, like, I had a stream with maybe, like, 3 to 5 more viewers than usual, like, last time. And then, but Twitch immediately says, like, oh, hey, you have minus 2 compared to your last stream. It's like, is that actionable information? Is it just there to be like, how can I get more people in, or like focusing on the metrics instead of like the merits of your work, you know? I mean, people who are way more in tune with the business end of it than I am have talked about this at length. And that's kind of where I got the reasoning about, like, some of this is just gamification. It's just achievements. Especially for affiliate. For partner, I think it's kind of a different story. But from Twitch's perspective, they want gamification and achievements to get people to not lock in. Like, it is a vendor lock-in kind of thing, right? Because if you as a creator have a sunk cost fallacy, then it's like they don't have to worry about their competitors quite as much, right? At least that's how I see it. They want creator retention. YouTube's creator retention is like also an interesting thing to me, right? Where they have publicly said this, and I think the metrics bear this out, that, you know, there's an initial flow as they try and find an audience for your stuff, and then after that, they will have like a steady trickle of like kind of like feelers to see if they can find a new audience for your chat, if it has not worked so far, or once there's like a drop off. One thing that's kind of funny to me is that some of the content that I've made that I'm like the proudest of has kind of the worst. It kind of has the worst like-dislike ratio. You know? I mean, some of it doesn't. Some of the stuff that it's just like, here's a the stuff that I know is going to be very generic, I think. Not generic, but has mainstream appeal, I guess. Like, that stuff all is, you know, 100% likes, because it's not like anything crazy. But some of the stuff, like, especially the Nintendo crowd, I think Nintendo has an incredibly like dogmatic fan base. I don't want to say hive mind, but I think they have very, very particular tastes and opinions, and anything that does not like coincide with that is seen as a negative. And that's fine. Like, it doesn't bother me. It does, like, it is kind of like, from a metrics perspective, which, you know, I don't care about. It is going to be worse though. So now it's like, do I consider like trying to balance things out? Because if I happen to be thinking about a bunch of stuff that is like Nintendo related, I release it all, and then it has like a 50-50 like dislike. Is it good, or is it one of those things where, like, I don't want to be the problem in comic books? Because I've talked about this like oh my gosh, I'm still small. I've talked about this a lot in comic books, where the issue is that where fans and fan community is concerned, editors in chief like Dan DiDio were kind of focused on keeping a fan base riled up rather than telling entertaining stories, because it was very much a the opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. So there was like a certain amount of trolling that went on, or not trolling, you know, but deliberately courting divisive storylines or things that would be like, you know, shocking, or things that would get a lot of attention, even if it's negative attention, because then people are talking about it and it's keeping buzz around the water cooler. And I kind of find that attitude a little perverse. Like, some of that is fine, that, you know, it's okay to have things like plot twists, but it got away from storytelling and kind of creating things of value and got more towards like showmanship and, you know, event television and stuff like that. It's the difference between why like Star Trek The Next Generation is good and, you know, why I don't think anybody is really like clamoring to go back and rewatch Lost beginning to end, right? Because it's just oh, I need to know what happens, versus, is this story satisfying? Will it be satisfying in 5 years or 10 years? And beyond the FOMO of, oh, I need to know what happens because you dangled a really shiny object in front of me, and my brain thinks it's a puzzle, and I naturally need closure to solve that puzzle. So I don't want to do that. I don't, because I think there is a way to be successful there. Clickbait is one example of that. Pointing at or deliberately misleading people into clicking your thumbnails and stuff. Even if it's not clickbait. Even if you're like, I created something of value, but I need to get people to click on it, otherwise it didn't matter, or things like that. I think a lot about, is that even ethical? Like, if I have a serious hesitation to scrolling and social media like addiction, or not even addiction, but consuming too much, is it, even if you think you're creating something of long-term value that is thought-provoking and good work and all that stuff, is it still ethical to get people to click on it? Because otherwise it won't get seen. Because that is like participation in the system itself, right? That is streaming on Twitch right now. That is putting up a YouTube VOD. And then do you just say, hey, here is this YouTube VOD that is a 60-minute discussion about the mechanics of NES Metroid and how the state of the art of platformers has changed over the last 30 years? Or do you just put some clickbait title, be like, oh, is this too old for today's gamers? Question mark, shocked face, you know. And one of those will get more clicks, for sure. Like, just experientially. But I was thinking about outlining like the things that sort of guide what I do, because sometimes I need it for myself, not necessarily to just demonstrate to other people's, hey, look, this is my brand, but also say like, why do I do this? And when I have an idea that I'm workshopping or working on, and I kind of like falter to be like, was this good? Like, is this a good idea? Was this ever a good idea? And that sort of doubt hits. I want to be able to go look at this thing to be like, hey, here are my core principles. This is what I stand for. This is the art that I want to make. This is what I want my work to be. And that way I don't have to like doubt myself. I can just go down the list and say, does this fit this description of what I said I want to accomplish? And if it does, I can keep going without having to, well, I can set the emotion aside of like that doubt or, you know, trying to in the moment second guess myself is incredibly destructive, because a lot of times if I even get allotted time to work on editing or streaming or whatever, it's not a lot. And so if I lose that 1 hour or 2 hour window to doubt, that might be it for that day. Sometimes even that might be it for that week. And that's incredibly brutal. Because then, you know, I'll hit that other mood where I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make X and Y and Z, and then I can just look and see the progress hasn't really been made on those. So that can be a little rough. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to make it. So I was originally gonna make a video in case it helped anyone else. And I might still. Like, I might still just finish that one video and say, okay, this is my guiding principle video, and I'll just leave it up. And because another thing I wanted to do is I didn't want to just make... I did just want to make content for other creators. I don't want to just write for other writers, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of people do. It's just, like, my own focus is I want to try and cast a wider net, because a lot of people do, like, a VTuber community has been described as very insular or very incestuous, that there's just like too much VTuber stuff aimed at other VTubers. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of great creators do that. But just personally, it feels like if there's too much of that, it feels a little like a pyramid scheme where there's a lot of people who like want to achieve something, and then eventually and then there's like, I don't want to feel like I'm a person who is kind of capitalizing on all these people who are would-be creators and kind of duping them into being my audience, you know? And there's certainly like, oh, I'm chatting again, all right. And there's a lot of like, I think it's healthy to have like colleagues or contemporaries. So I don't want to be like anybody who is a streamer who is in any other streamer's audience is like failing. Like that's A, that's wrong, and B, you know, I just don't think that's like a healthy way to look at it. But it does make me, I do have a little hesitation with people who have not really come to a place of like comfort of where they are as creators, and then they just kind of like unwittingly like coast into consumption rather than creation. I think ideally, like, people should be able to, like, you should be inspired by others and be able to be colleagues like that, because VTubing is often referred to as a community, but I don't think it really is a community. I think there's just like pockets of people who stream and create and make things, and some of those pockets are related to each other and some of them are completely separate. And so when some people go into what they should be treating like a professional or like creative endeavor, and they kind of seek personal like gratification out of it, then they feel like misled, or vice versa. So I think that's like a good part of like why I think when people go into this gigantic space and expect quote unquote community and don't get it, that it's really not. It's people, you know, it'd be weird to describe YouTube as a community, right? It's the like vloggers and the live streamer part of YouTube versus the video essayist part of YouTube versus, you know, the ambient camping YouTube versus like synthesized music creation YouTube versus, you know, like all of that's so different culturally. They don't all hang out with each other and they're not all cool with each other. And some of those sections have very, very different personalities and cultures. So I think VTubing is kind of the same way. So when people say a VTubing community and then they get upset that there's no community standard or people are not behaving with each other as friends or colleagues, I think that's kind of why they went in with very different expectations of a cohesive culture where there is none. I mean, especially like that's why I sought out, like when as just somebody who was just getting into VTubing, it just resonated with me more to talk about people who were a little on the older side of things and had like more life experience and stuff like that, just because it's easier to relate to. And that's not to say I don't watch, younger creators in their 20s too, but it is easier to relate to somebody who's like been closer to your situation, I guess. And another reason that it's not like a quote unquote community is that it's really tough to go in with those with two very different life experiences and have the same expectations, especially because people come to streaming or creation for very different reasons, right? Especially post COVID, the COVID babies. I did start after that, and I think a lot of people did it for more social connections, which is fine, but a lot of other people did it for like creative outlets and things like that, which is fine. And some people just want to grow. Like, if people are like, hey, I think it's completely valid for somebody to say, hey, I like your content. I think we could do something that would be mutually beneficial if we were to collab. And then people who are very small indies who don't care to grow are like, oh, I actually just wanted friends. Like, I don't care about growing. And then those two people kind of like have disconnects with each other, or, maybe felt duped or what have you, and that's not necessarily bad. Like, sometimes it's just people have different priorities, and it's not necessarily even one's taking advantage of the other, And that might be something that is just like really prevalent on social media, especially among like younger people who grew up online, that they see that as sort of like a betrayal because they don't necessarily have a lot of experience with content creation, and so they kind of saw it more as like an online friend kind of click dynamic or what have you. But I don't know, it can be tough. It's not like I'm immune to those things either, right? Like, I don't have a huge audience, and so when I feel very conscious about going to somebody else who does, and even asking them, like, not even for help or a collab, but just like approaching them, like even being like, hey, what's up? I enjoy your things. So I don't want to talk from a position of authority. Like, what the hell do I know? Who am I? All right, I should probably log off. Let me take another swing at those hanging those paintings. Get those up. I need to clean this room. Actually, let me get lunch. Let me clean this room. Then let me get a workout. Hope you guys have a great day. Please remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to hydrate, stretch, do whatever you need to do. If you have a list, don't let it stay a list. Even if it just means picking one thing, don't let it linger. Make sure whatever you do, it's conscious and deliberate. It doesn't have to be the perfect choice, as long as you do your best. I think tonight I'm gonna play Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, because that has been really fun. But I haven't been streaming it, because I don't know if it makes a good stream. and setting up the stream is like kind of a conscious effort. It may just be more useful if I record the footage and then do a post-mortem. No pun intended. And then be like, hey, everybody hated this game. I don't think it's that bad. In fact, I think it's kind of fun. But I'm also not taking it that seriously. It is not a serious tactics game. You know, but it has very light visual novel elements, great art, cool music, amazing aesthetic. It's super neat. It's like your Ghostbusters. I mean, it's basically like your Ghostbusters, where you're running out of like an office building in an old garage, and you're cobbling together kit and hunting ghosts in your spare time and running a website. It's really like somebody set up like a ghost hunting club in Japan that was like a modern day equivalent of Ghostbusters, you know? Including the garage startup kind of homegrown feel. So it's got a lot of charm to it so far anyway. I mean, if the game gets brutally hard, I would rage quit it in a second. But, we'll see. All right, hope you have a great rest of your day. We're just on 2 hours now. So, peace out. Take care of yourselves. Later.